As we were preparing our remarks here tonight, we were asked to come up with several ahas. And as I've been sitting in the audience and looking at your SV2 logo, I realized, my main aha from tonight is an equation, and it's SV2 equals T cubed. And T cubed stands for time, treasure, and talent. And what I have really learned from our involvement with SV2, and I know I will continue to learn, is that there's a tremendous synergy that comes from that trifecta. So thank you so very, very much for your support of the Big Lift. And on behalf of all the big lifters throughout San Mateo County, I know they join me in sending their thanks as well. Also, when Erica and I do this presentation, usually we have a third individual with us, and that's Supervisor Carol Groom from the San Mateo County Board of Supervisors, who had another commitment this evening, and she wishes that she could be here and sends her greetings to you as well. As Julie mentioned to you, fully 48% of the kids in San Mateo County are not reading proficiently when they leave third grade. And I'd like to paint a picture of San Mateo County for you, because we're a county of real contrasts. On the one hand, we're a county of great prosperity. We are actually about the top 1% in terms of counties throughout the United States, which, if you think about the world, means we're one of the very most prosperous places in the entire globe. But on the other hand, a third of our kids qualify for free and reduced lunch in our public school system. Another thing to think about as far as San Mateo County is concerned is that we have health insurance for all of our kids. We really, truly believe that our kids need to have the very best health care possible. And long before that was a topic of national debate in San Mateo County, we made sure that every single one of our kids had health coverage. And yet, when we look at our reading scores, we've got so many of our students who are not making the kind of progress that we need them to make as they move through their academic careers. And why that matters is as kids get through school and they get to high school, if you look at young people who drop out of high school, fully 88% of that group of students who dropped out were not reading proficiently at the third grade. And so the aha that I've learned from our work with the Big Lift is, why do we care about third grade reading? What's so important about that? And if you think back to your time in school, or to your children's time in school, or grandkids' time in school, as they enter kindergarten and move through the grades to third grade, they're really learning how to read, and they're getting facility at that as a skill. But once they leave third grade and move on to fourth grade and middle school and high school, reading is the skill that they most need to open up the different content areas that they're studying. And if they're struggling with their reading skills and it doesn't come easily to them, they give up, and they don't access those rigorous types of academic courses that we need them to be taking to continue to cause our Silicon Valley economy to thrive in the way that we want it to thrive, and so that each one of those students is able to fully participate in a meaningful life as an adult as well. So that was our aha as we looked at the data, was we absolutely need to make sure that at least 80% of the kids in San Mateo County, when they leave third grade, are reading proficiently. And Erica's going to share with you what our plan is. Thank you.
So what Anne has laid out, I really look at as the third grade reading crisis in one of the most prosperous places on earth. And it's absolutely shameful and unacceptable. And thankfully, there is a group, a collective impact collaborative known as the Peninsula Partnership Leadership Council, or the PPLC for short, that just 2 years ago consisted of 20 to 30 organizations that now has grown to over 150, representing education, government, philanthropy, direct service providers, and business, who together are really spearheading a bold new vision for early learning in our community called the Big Lift. And as Julie mentioned, it is a comprehensive, evidence-based approach, which we think is going to set this apart and be a model for other communities in the United States that are trying to tackle this problem. Consists of the following components: a high-quality early learning experience that begins at preschool when kids are 3 and extends with them all the way into kindergarten, first, second, and third grade. There's an intentional focus on reducing chronic absence and summer learning loss, because we don't want the gains made during the year to be lost over the summer or because kids aren't getting to class. The other important component of this, of course, is that we want to engage parents and the broader community in our young children's learning. Is this ambitious? Absolutely. Is it going to be hard? Absolutely. But we absolutely know the educational status quo is no longer an option. And if places like Oklahoma can develop a best-in-class early learning system, we should be able to do that here in Silicon Valley and in San Mateo County. And we think we're onto something. Earlier this year, the Board of Supervisors of San Mateo County made a significant investment to the Big Lift of $10 million over 2 years. Just last month, we learned that the Big Lift received a prestigious competitive investment from the Social Innovation Fund of $7.5 million over 3 years. For those of you that don't know, the Social Innovation Fund is a signature program of the White House, so we're thrilled. And we're also equally thrilled that we have this strategic partnership with SV2 at exactly the right time to help us create and build the scale and impact that we know is possible. I see the time's up, but I'm going to end with this. How many of you went to college? Can I see a show of hands? Just about everybody in the room. And how many of you remembered when that letter of acceptance arrived in the mail? Yeah. I remember it. And it was a thrilling moment for me. And for those of us that are involved in the Big Lift, we think every kid deserves to have that moment. So we believe it. Now it's about achieving it, and we're thrilled to be working with all of you in the room. Thank you.